Hi, this is Wilderness Surviving to Thriving, and today I'm going to talk about jewelweed. The reason I'm talking about this plant is because I use this plant probably more than any other plant out there. And the reason why is because of poison ivy and poison oak, which I'll get into in a little bit. But if you're a woodsman, you got to know this plant. If you're a woodsman in the right areas where you have poison ivy and any poisonous plants for the most part. But this is jewelweed. We'll start by identification. You can take a look at it. It's oval, I guess, leaves, I guess you would say. It has teeth there. They're kind of rounded, I guess. It grows maybe, these are small ones here. These are only about, a foot and a half or so, but it grows probably, could get up to, 5 feet tall, but maybe between 3 and 5 feet tall. And you see them, I would say May through, early October, you'll see them. Maybe a little sooner than that. But they're really small, like I said. But the insides of them are, you can pull them right out of the ground pretty easily. They just let me just show you a small one here. It just pops out of the ground. It just comes with the roots and all like that. It breaks really easily, as you can see. I guess it's hollow on the inside, and it's very wet and slimy on the inside, which I'll get into in a little bit. But this is basically what it looks like. It has like little yellow or orange flowers, which I'll talk about. You can see it has like I guess a chemical on there or whatever. You can see how the water is beating off of it like that, which is kind of cool. Hopefully that shows up. You can see the water droplets there. That's cool. But so this is jewelweed. Now, why do I use this all the time? Is because every time I leave the forest, I rub this stuff on me. Whether I think I hit poison ivy or poison oak or whatever, I use it anyways to prevent that from happening, from me getting the rash. So that's why this is good. It's good to prevent poison ivy and poison oak. It's good to treat it also. So another name for this is touch-me-nots. So there's flowers that form. I think they're like, I'm not good with colors, a yellow orangey color. And if you put your hand around it, it will pop on you and explode the seeds out. So and those seeds are edible. So what you want to do is you want to just kind of just grasp the seed like that and then squeeze it, and then they'll pop right into your hands. And then those are edible. They taste like, I guess, like walnuts, I guess. And then the flower is also edible. You can eat the flowers either raw or you can cook them. Now, as far as the plant's concerned, if I heard they were edible, I've never eaten the stalk here and the leaves. But I probably would only eat that for medicinal purposes. I have to do more investigation on it. But I know people have eaten this. They have to cook it first. And then what they do is they boil it. And then they change the water a few times while they boil it to get all the negative properties out of it, as far as just eating it for eating its sake, the sake of eating it. But they say that's edible. I haven't tried that. I probably wouldn't do that if I was hungry. There's plenty of other things to eat out here, but I heard you can do that. Now, medicinal uses I'll get into in a little bit. And I would do it for that, eat it for that purposes, for those purposes. Let me see, as far as other identifications, you can see the stems down here, they're opposite right there. And then if you go up top, they up top, they're alternate on top. So that's what they say, at least. It's kind of this one. I'm just looking here. Still looks opposite there. But anyways, that's what they say. But I'm looking here, kind of looks the same for the smaller one. I guess when they get bigger, they become alternate at the top. But the lower ones are opposite, branching, that is. So let me see. So like I said, they bloom through, May and October. The flowers, I guess, some of the flowers look like a trumpet shape, some of them. And they I guess look like a jewel, from like a necklace or so. That's why it's called jewelweed. But the smaller flowers are the ones that you grab and then you kind of pop in your hand. You can eat the seeds from that. And like I said, you can eat the seeds and flowers of that raw. So things that you could do with the jewelweed is, when I in the woods, I split open the stem with my thumbnail, which I bite my nails. It's disgusting, I know, but I kind of split it open and I rub the wet stalk on my legs or whatever, mostly my legs, whatever part I thought got touched poison ivy. And then once that's done, what I do is I'll just grab a whole plant and I'll just crumble up the whole thing like that, leaves and all, and then I'll just get the juices flowing after I come without the soil there. Crumble it up, yeah, and leaves. Let me do a better example. I'll just crumble it up like this, and then I'll just rub that all over me also. So that property's in the leaves also. But I like the stems because the stems are nice and wet, so I split open the stems first and I rub that on me, and then I crumble everything up and I just kind of rub my whole body like that, and it works pretty well, I guess. I mean, I know I've come close to poison ivy, and I get poison ivy pretty badly, so and I haven't had a really bad case in a long time, so this stuff works pretty well, I guess. You can make soaps out of this stuff. One thing, you can boil it up, and then you wait until the liquid gets like I'm terrible with colors, an orange color, I guess it is. And then you put that in ice cubes, and you can freeze that for like winter use or whatever you want to do with it, or any time of the year really. You can take out the ice cube and rub your body for whatever skin problems you have, and that'll help out. Another thing is a spray bottle. You can put it in a spray bottle and spray yourself. That works also. I just mostly just use the leaves and the stems and just do it that way. You can also add honey to it, the jewelweed, to make like ointments and stuff like that. As far as ointments, my wife is a lot better at that kind of stuff than I am. She takes classes and that kind of stuff all the time, so maybe I'll have her do an episode on how to make ointments out of beeswax or whatever she's going to use. But medicinal uses, you hear several things, whether you can eat it, whether you can't, I don't know, but I heard there are medicinal uses to it, such as, it's good for bruising, burns, cuts, as we mentioned, insects. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but insect bites, sores, sprains, warts, ringworm. There's a lot of things that this can be done for. Basically what I use this for is more like, things you go to your dermatologist for the most part. That's what I use it for. But it's just other stuff I kind of looked up online, and this is what they're saying. So I only can advise you on things that I've done myself. I've never eaten this plant except for the flowers and the seeds, so I know that's pretty good. I haven't had a negative effect on that, but the other way of cooking this, and I haven't done that. I don't know if I would do that, but it's up to you guys. Maybe you guys can let me know what you think about that. Tell me if you've done it. Tell me health benefits, health, if you had any negative effects, whatever the case may be. And with anything, is if you have a lot of allergies, or if you have a lot of allergies, or just problems in general, you should probably stay away from eating this stuff. But also I heard it helps in taking it by mouth, mild digestive disorders. Also, it helps like the kidneys, the liver somehow. I'm not quite sure. Eye medicine, I don't know about that, but yeah, this is just stuff I read. Athlete's foot, several things out there. Aids in loss of body water through urination, like a diuretic effect type of deal, I guess. So I'm not a doctor, so this is just stuff I read online, but I definitely use this stuff for treating skin conditions, poison ivy, poison oak. Oh, sting and nettle. That's a huge one, man. I use this one all the time for sting and nettle. My wife gets like these white bumps, and yeah, it's important to have this stuff buy for sting and nettle, which is also edible, but we'll talk about that another time. And so this is good stuff. Go ahead and rub this on you. I know that's safe. As far as eating it, always do your homework, like I say. And let me know if you have eaten this stuff or used this medicinally internally. I know about the, rubbing it on my skin. The other stuff, let me know what you've done, if it's affected you in a positive, negative way. I think it causes, if you eat it, a lot of diarrhea. So you don't want to eat too much of it. So that's just my recommendation from what I'm hearing, is as far as eating it, I would use it for medicinal purposes, but not just to fill your stomach to get some food in you, unless it's an emergency. But like I said, there's plenty of other things out there that you can eat. So this is jewelweed, or the other name is touch me not, because the seeds explode everywhere when you touch them. I've heard several reasons why this plant is called jewelweed. One I think I mentioned before because of the flower. It looks like a jewel, maybe hanging from like a necklace, I guess. But another one I've heard is the leaf here. Let me just pick one here. I heard this leaf, if you put it in water, it will have like a silver shine to it and it will look like a jewel. So let's go ahead and do that. I brought out a bowl here. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in there and we'll take a look to see if we can see it. Just gonna see, oh yeah, oh yeah, I can see that. So let me see here. Yeah, you see the silvery colors when I dip it down? So I guess that's from the chemicals in it or whatever in the leaf. It makes it shine like silvery, like a jewel. You see that? So I guess this is why it's called jewelweed. Let me just do it in the sun to see if we can get a better effect. And you can see how that bubble, how the droplet is just staying right like that from whatever the leaf is made up of here. So let me go ahead and do it again in the sun. Let me see. Let me go ahead and flip it over to the back side. See if the back side has the same effect. Can't really see in the sun here if it's really shining or not. Wait, oh yeah, that back side has a great effect. See that? I think you can see that. I guess that's why it's called jewelweed. Now, people say jewelweed grows where poison ivy is and everything. Now, that's sometimes the case, but not always. Um, Jewelweed likes it in moist areas. You know, this is my yard. All the plants and weeds I've showed you so far have been in my yard. So this is my yard. It's a little, damp here, I guess. But you see this around like river banks. You see it in partial sunlight. Direct sunlight, it would dry out and kind of, this plant likes it moist. So you can just touch it and you can see how wet it is. It likes moisture. You can tell that. So, poison ivy can grow right out in the sun. So that's one place you won't see this plant for that long. It might grow this big and then die off. This is not the ideal spot for it. Like I said, it's damp here, but it likes it, a little damper than this. This will only grow probably another couple inches. But out there you'll see them, close to 5 feet tall, like I said before, if it's in the right spot. Riverbank, wood lines. That's right where the meadow in a damp spot, like maybe it's a ditch or something, where it gets partial sun, partial shade because the woods are right there. It's a perfect place. Also, I really don't see this plant in shade too much. All shade. So you will see poison ivy vines in the shade, and you will see, like I said, in the shade and the sun, you'll see poison ivy. This is in between those two. So let's just look to see if there's any poison ivy around here. I think I did my job and took care of all the poison ivy. No, that's not poison ivy. A lot of people get this confused with poison ivy. This is, I believe this is Virginia creep. It has a vine just like poison ivy. And a lot of times you see poison ivy in the middle of Virginia creep. So, but anyways, so another thing I just wanted to mention, let's go back to jewelweed. I'm just looking for poison ivy. I took care of all of it. So it does grow near poison ivy, but not all the time, like I explained. Let me get to this one with the beady one. Still beating a little bit. But anyways, what else do I need to say? Oh, drying out this stuff. The reason why this stuff works is because it's moist and has the moisture content is what you're looking for. So if you pick up one, it's all dried out, doesn't have that moisture to it, then guess what? It's probably not going to work that great. So you want the moisture, you don't want to dry it out, you want the properties, whatever properties it has in it is probably in the moisture. So that's what you want to keep. But anyways, this is jewelweed. I think I covered everything. And let me see. That's about it. This is Wilderness Surviving to Thriving, and I'll see you next time. See, this stuff is everywhere. So look for it. Bye.